The only thing better than winning your fantasy football league? Constantly reminding the other owners that you did. And at DraftKings.com, you can prove you're the superior GM every single week. DraftKings is America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. One-week fantasy means no season-long commitments, so you can play whenever you want in a variety of contests. Challenge your friends in a custom league or join an existing one to play for your share of the millions of dollars in prizes up for grabs this season. Just pick your contest, draft your players, and collect your winnings. That is it. Renew old rivalries or create new ones by playing head-to-head with friends, coworkers, and fantasy players from all over the country. Hurry to DraftKings.com now. Use promo code FRIENDS, FRIENDS, and play for free. 1 week fantasy means no season-long commitments, so you can play whenever you want in a variety of contests. Challenge your friends in a custom league or join an existing one to play for your share of the millions of dollars in prizes up for grabs this season. Just pick your contest, draft your players, and collect your winnings. That is it. Renew old rivalries or create new ones by playing head-to-head with friends, coworkers, and fantasy players from all over the country. Hurry to DraftKings.com right now. Use promo code FRIENDS, FRIENDS, and play for free with your first deposit in this Sunday's $1 million fantasy contest. First place takes home $100,000 and a lifetime of bragging rights. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. Enter friends for free entry now, only at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com. It's the Friends Without Benefits podcast. My name is Jason Horton, and I'm here with my shiny brand new friend, Katie Featherston.
Hello.
Not Featherson.
Not Featherstone.
Not Feathernun.
Nope.
Not Featherstone. And not Jeff. Her name is also not Jeff.
I mean, you can call me Jeff if you want, but I probably won't answer.
Yeah, so that's not going to help anybody. And Katie is not only a human being, first and foremost, but you may know her best as Katie in the Paranormal Activity movies.
Yeah, I did those.
You did those.
Crazy, crazy time. That was a crazy thing.
That was a crazy time, and you used your name.
Oh my God, I did.
They were just like, nah.
I truly regret nothing in my life. I do sometimes think about that moment when it happened, and I wonder what my life would look like if we had maybe named me Michelle in the movie. It would have been the same movie, just a different experience for the world. Yeah, we didn't know. We were just like sitting around in the living room, and Oren was like, "So guys, we're improving, so you just want to like use your real names?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, okay," because we had created these characters, but you're in the moment, you don't want to yell out the wrong name or whatever, and so I just was like 22, I guess I was 23, 24 at the time, and had no idea that it would like be a life decision that I had just made. It was crazy.
I mean, the thing with literally anything, especially in the entertainment industry in Los Angeles or whatever, it's like you never know. Like you could do something and think this is going to be the hugest thing ever, and nothing happens. And you could do this thing on a whim, and it could literally be everything. Yeah, and that's how crazy it is.
Yeah. It was an amazing. It's still that whole experience really doesn't feel like it happened to me. I'm really thankful for it, but it feels like this crazy thing that I saw on a TV show, or something that happened to somebody else.
So you're kind of outside yourself.
Yeah, I'm consistently outside myself when it comes to the sort of hugeness of it.
So let's go back a little bit.
Sure.
So, because there was a time before these movies, there was a time before any of this, when you were just like a regular person. Ugh. Boring.
Oh, I was so over it.
But you come to LA at some point, right? Is that how, like a lot of people do?
Yes. Right after college.
Right after college. And were you like, what was your, before you got here, like did you have like a forecast or any predictions like, oh, this is what I want to happen, or this is how it's going to unfold?
Well, I was in 7th grade and I decided I was going to be an actress. So from then on, it was like, power mode to get to New York or LA. And then when I graduated from SMU, where I majored in theater, I moved to LA, and I knew, I just had blind faith, the kind of blind faith I think you can only have if you're really young and naive and you don't know anything. I just believed I would be okay. And I wanted to be an actress, and whatever that looked like, if it looked like TV, if it looked like film, I didn't really know what that looked like, but I just wanted to do stuff that
if it looked like unemployment.
I mean, it looked like acting unemployment for a while, that was for sure. But I don't know, I just had huge faith, and my parents were really kind and affirmed that, I could do whatever I wanted to do. And so I came out here and knew no one and had no idea how the business worked, like at all. And then my very first year in LA, got myself that audition for what ended up being Paranormal Activity.
And how did that come? How did you get that?
There's this website called LA Casting, which when you're young and naive, so
there's things on there where you're like, oh, this looks like something that'll never happen.
Yeah,
it's a real black hole. It can be.
You gotta like really filter through. It's like but I remember reading Oren's post and it seemed like really focused and direct and kind of legit. And it was something like you'll be working, around the clock and all that kind of stuff. But to me, that was fun. But it seemed like this person had put a lot of thought into it. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go out for this. And so it was in this tiny theater in North Hollywood. And I was waiting in there. And these women were coming out of the theater like grumpy. And they're holding their headshots still. And they just looked like, what just happened? And I thought, what's going on in that room? And so I go into the theater. And it's just Oren and a couple, his girlfriend at the time and his best friend. They're sitting there. And there's like one chair. And I sit down and I have my headshot. And he's like, so why is your house haunted? And I said, oh, well, and I just started making stuff up. And then he was like, okay, thank you. And that was it. And then we later had callbacks, and that's when I met Mika for the first time, and it was just fun.
Improvisation, which I'm a huge fan of, and
Me too.
That's kind of my background and how it got even to this point, which I'm thankful for. Came in really handy because I think a lot of people, they are like, oh, I expected to go a certain way, or why don't you ask me my name, or don't you want to know what I've done? And isn't it really like, isn't it about me? And it's not really about you. So be ready for anything and everything. And you were.
In college we had I don't really have very much improv training, but I remember in college this professor named Dan Day taught us an improv class, and the whole point of that class was don't be funny. He was like, don't try to make people laugh. Don't go for the joke, which in my mind is all improv ever was. It was like, oh, it's funny, and there is that for sure. But he said, be real. He was like, be real. If it happens to be funny, great. If it's not, it doesn't have to be. Like, make it be in the moment, whatever that moment is. And I think that really served me in both the audition process and in the movie, because it was the ability to like just accept this is the world we're living in this moment, and just say yes.
So then you have callbacks.
Yeah.
Did you have to go just one callback?
I think we just had one, maybe two.
And are you like optimistic about it, or is it just another day and another?
I remember calling my mom and saying, I think I got that, and if I don't, it's because something else fantastic is coming, because that was too fun for it not to be mine. But I didn't know what it was. To me, it was just a week where I got to film a movie instead of waiting tables, so it was just a win just to do it. On the callback, I met Mika for the first time, and it was the same thing. We were like, hi, I'm Katie, I'm Mika. And Oren said, where did you guys meet? And we like looked at each other and then launched into this epic story about, traveling abroad and over college and falling in love and all this stuff, which is totally made up. But
did any of that end up?
That was our backstory.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the basis.
So you kind of wrote the movie.
The three of us did through collaboration for sure. Yeah.
So what comes next is filming the thing.
Yes.
And you filmed it in San
Diego.
Which I moved from New York and I moved to San Diego before I moved to Los Angeles. So I always thought it was very cool. I don't know. I just felt it was like kind of close to me a little bit.
Close to home.
Yeah. So what was that experience like?
It was really fun. We had a 7-day shoot.
Which is short.
But we were non-union and there was no crew, so it was truly like, 18 hours a day, so we could cram a lot in. Yeah. And we lived in the house. So there was no coming back and forth. It was just we were there. That's what we were there to do, and it was great. Mika and I carpooled down and got to know each other a little. And
so you came down from LA to San Diego?
We would usually take my car, and Mika and I would take turns driving, and we filmed around the clock, and really, it was looking back, the thing that I realized that I didn't recognize at the time coming from theater was how collaborative it was and how unusual that is. All three of us were producing, directing, acting, writing the whole time. And it was Oren's show. I mean, Oren knew exactly what he wanted, but he was so generous in letting us contribute in ways that most actors don't really have the opportunity to do. And we each had our roles. Like, my job was to like write the list of scenes down that we needed to shoot and what order we needed to shoot them, because I have to be really organized or I freak out. And then Mika would get in there with the camera, and it was just like everybody had their part, and we kind of fell into those roles pretty easily. It was a really special collaboration that I don't think happens all the time.
and I'm sure you didn't realize what would be the outcome.
No way.
Right, because theoretically, I mean, there's plenty of things that get made that never see the light of day.
Yeah. Oh,
which
yeah.
just as easily could have happened.
Oh, we wanted to make the best movie we could make, because we had pride in it, but we didn't. I mean, at the time of making it, it was just, let's make the best movie we can. And then after we filmed it, there was a year of editing, and it was great that Oren was taking it so seriously. And I really appreciated that.
Did he were you guys in the loop a lot?
Yeah, he was the best.
That's great.
I mean,
yeah.
he continues to be the best years later. Yeah, he would do an edit and then he would either come up to LA or we'd go down to San Diego and we'd all watch and give notes. We'd have like small groups. He'd get small groups together and do that. That was a year. So there's a year of editing because he still had a full-time job. And then after that, he started submitting it to festivals and submitting it around town. And we got into Screamfest, which we just did a Q&A there the other night, which was so fun, very full circle. And it did really well there. And then eventually, this is like years down the road now. This guy named Jason Blum found it, and he really saw in it, something special because everyone else around town had, and we got into slam dance and things like that, but everyone in town had said no, this doesn't look like a movie, no. And Jason was like, I think maybe it could be. And so he was really a huge gift because he really believed in us and really worked hard and to get us in the right hands, and to work things so that the actual original movie would be the one that everyone saw, because there was a time when they were going to like recast it and reshoot it, and make it like a fancier, more Hollywood kind of film. And Jason and Oren were like, well, I don't think that's really the tone of the movie, but okay. So it was great. It was an amazing, it was insane.
What was the time frame in between you finished shooting until like it was what it became? It
was 3 years almost to the day. So we started filming on my birthday when I turned, I think, 23 or 24, I can't remember. And then a year of editing and then 2 years of Hollywood. And when it actually, and it started off small, it was like, oh, we'll just do the demanded thing. It'll be a couple of little towns, a couple of college towns, then a limited thing. And, none of that means huge blockbuster. It means like, oh, cool, my movie was in a movie theater.
Like, yeah, maybe somebody can go sit in a movie theater in maybe a town that you're not in.
My parents can drive to Dallas if it's airing in Dallas, or drive down to Austin, And so I was still, auditioning for other stuff, waiting tables, barely getting by,
Yeah, I was wondering, what was your, because you weren't sitting there thinking, well, I know in 3 years I'm going to be big time. I'm sure you were just like,
I got to keep going, you know? And I was so afraid of losing my job, not that I really cared that much, but towards the end of the filming process, we had some reshoots. Steven Spielberg had a few things to say about it, which was so cool. And so we had some reshoots, and I would just call in and I'd be like, guys, I can't come to work today. And each time I was like, well, that might be it. I might lose my job. But I knew why I was in LA. It wasn't to wait tables. It was to do this kind of stuff. So it was, So yeah, by the end of it, I was pretty.
You were sweating it at some point.
Oh yeah, for sure. But when it came out, when it actually, because it was all the way down to the wire. It was like college towns and then a few more cities. But then every moment it was like, that could be it. And I was still waiting tables. I had just turned in my 2 weeks when it opened wide across America. And I was like, people were going to see the movie and then walking across the street, and I was serving them food. And it was like insane that I had my world literally turned upside down overnight. It was I don't even know how to describe it. It was crazy.
Okay, so now it's happening. Now what changes for you?
Yeah,
because it's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah,
it's a huge, and it was a really a huge time. Like, looking back, I can really learn from it. But at the time, it was just a giant whirlwind because I still didn't know how the business worked because I hadn't really been in the business very much. The business kind of came to me super fast, but there was no I didn't have years of building up experience to then be prepared and to be able to handle the amount of attention and the level of success that we had so quickly. And you also need a really strong group of people around you who can help guide you. And some of those pieces, weren't there for me. So it was a lot of, Mika and I just holding on for dear life and saying, okay.
Because, you are really, as far as, it's a very light cast.
Yeah.
Right? So you guys, it's to focus on you or that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be like, it's not like, you know, like the Avengers where there's like, you know,
15 people.
Yeah, 8 actors you could be talking to or whatever the case may be. I don't know my Avengers. I'm sorry.
I saw one of them.
Okay.
I like Joss a lot. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Yeah. Shout out to him.
Oh man, Joss.
If you're listening,
I love you.
So what, like, were you thinking then, like, what comes next for you or comes next for the movie?
I was thinking, how do I handle all this and do it right? And what that really means is how do I handle in my 26-year-old mind, it meant how do I handle this and make everybody around me happy, which is impossible because you can't make everybody happy. You have to just live your truth, and some people will be happy and some people won't. So I was just trying to like survive, and you know, and then of course the sequel, you know, was talked about like pretty much right away after they realized how well the first movie did, and you know, they hadn't killed me, so it was like, okay, well, you know. So that kind of rolled into that. So it was just kind of like this whirlwind for a few years.
So what's the time frame in between, you know, your the first one comes out, it's out, it's everyone knows it and loves it and is going crazy. When did you start working on the second one?
I can't remember. The first one came out in October.
So it's pretty quick though, right?
Yeah, because they released it the next October. So they did it. So I think we filmed that over the summer. We had to have filmed over the summer, I remember. Yeah, so we were filming. Yeah, like we filmed the second one for a long time because the interesting thing about the second one was, you know, it was then a studio film, but the studio wanted to recreate in some ways the success of the first, so they're like, okay, we're going to actually make an indie film, but it's impossible. You can't do what we did on the first movie with a crew of 50 and, you know, a ton of money and craft service and SAG regulations. It's just impossible.
And your private jet.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, clearly I put that in the contract. Private jet. So it was an interesting kind of like thing where we all had to kind of like settle into each other. Like, it's not going to be the first movie because we have a bigger family now and we have more rules and we have more cooks in the kitchen. But it's also not a huge studio film, so there is more room for collaboration than a normal studio film would have, I think. So that was a very like kind of, we all kind of had to like get our sea legs again.
Do you enjoy one over the other in hindsight?
Well, what I've realized over time is that I enjoy telling stories in a really complete way. I love acting, but I love, you know, conceptually coming up with the idea. I love having a hand in how it looks. I love editing. I love having a final say. So if I had to choose, I would choose the first one because while it wasn't my film, I had more. I contributed more. I felt like my presence in that film was more meaningful than just being an actor and showing up and feeling my feelings, hitting my mark, and going home. And that can be really fun and great, but it's not for me. It doesn't fill me up in the same way as having my hand in the whole you know, picture.
How did things change for you after the second one came out?
I mean, they all blur together, really. I mean, I think
because you have to do a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of like, especially when it's now theoretically a studio film, you got to do even probably more promotion.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we did so much for the first and second one. Even the third one. I mean, I remember I went to London one day and they, you know, shuttled me around London and I did, you know, press there and New York and cover.
This must seem like ugh to you compared to that.
No, this is great. This is fun because you and I are like connecting on a human level and like chilling out. That's all fun too. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was fun to like go to London and be in like this cool hotel room and think, what is happening in my world right now?
I went to London for a week for a YouTube thing and it was amazing.
Isn't that neat?
It was so. I saw Wicked on Halloween 2 Halloweens ago.
Oh wow!
It was just really really cool.
That's amazing.
So yeah,
that's amazing. My whole it was a lot of catching up for me because I mean I had never even. This sounds so silly, but I had never. They fly you. Paramount will fly cast members first class, you know, and so I flew like first class from you know LA to London, and I'd never been I'd never done that, and it was just like, wow, what is this?
Would you believe I never have ever?
I mean, most people haven't because it's just who can do that.
Yeah.
But it was like, wow, this is like, what is this world I'm living in, you know? But it never felt like. It just felt like this cool thing that was happening, you know, and it was exciting.
Did any like your relationships change with people because your life changes, you know what I mean, and the people that you're around, even people in your hometown or you know your the people. I mean, it sounds like you kind of like came to LA and then just things happened.
That is how it. I know that's how it seems, and in some ways that is what happened. The people, I have a pretty good intuition, and I'm pretty good at feeling people out. And for the most part, everyone, my family, my good friends, there was so much love, there's so much happiness, so much excitement, and I really felt that, and it was really very grounding for me to have all the people that I love still treat me exactly the same as they should, And there were a few people who kind of like attempted to be BFFs with me, but it was, you can suss those people out pretty fast. Yeah. Overall, such gratitude for my friends and my family. And
are you thinking at the time like, I want to do other stuff beside this franchise? Like, what was your kind of plan?
Sure. I would love to do more like comedy and dramedy. But that's a hard sell when you have like a really solid, name in a horror genre, and that's what your team wants you to do, because that's coming at them like, offers all the time for that kind of stuff. And the movies are continuing to go. So every year it's Katie from Paranormal Activity, Demon, every year. It's hard to break away from that, and or at least for me, at times it was hard to break away from that, which is why now I kind of, while I have such gratitude for like our huge fan base and all its success, I do appreciate the kind of space that's happening right now, where I can develop my own things and get that out in the world and be like, hey guys, I'm actually a really great gal who can, there's a whole...
You could be like, like a quirky best friend.
There you go.
You could be a, kick-ass spy.
I would love to be a
Only
kick-ass
those two
spy.
things, though.
Kick-ass spy. I'll take that.
Quirky best friend.
I like that too.
Those are the only two things. Though.
I think there's probably a few more.
I don't know.
I think I could
there's
be.
only two.
I think my resume might have other things in it eventually.
Yeah, okay.
We'll see.
So you are. I mean, I've seen all the movies. It's sometimes hard to keep track of what was going on.
My gosh.
I mean, use some navigation, but you're in all of them in some way except for the current one.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Was that was there any conversation with that one? Like, are you gonna find yourself in that one in some kind of?
Oh, about the last one?
With the current one that's out.
Oh, I don't have a great answer to that. I really love everybody who is in charge of these, like the team behind it. They've become friends over the years, and they know what story they want to tell. And so if they were telling a story that didn't need my character, it's like, I trust you, go for it.
Yeah.
So there was no conversation on my end, but I have like huge gratitude and like 100% support for them and for like them wrapping up the franchise the way they did.
So is that it for it now?
I mean, as far as I know, who knows? But from everything I'm hearing from everyone, people who are in the know, that's it. I mean, who knows? They could reboot it in 10 years or something. But for now, I think that's it. Isn't that crazy?
I mean, it is kind of crazy because when I think about it, I think of it as like a pretty current. Current franchise, I mean, everyone loves horror. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can even movies that don't do well can have, 10 sequels because people just consume.
And if you make them for as little as Jason, makes most of his, they're still making a profit, which is great.
Do you? Cord's getting all caught up.
Some cord
What's
issues.
going on with this cord? This crazy cord thing.
This cord is like.
This cord is going absolutely crazy.
This cord is just needs some love.
It's hard doing this.
That's especially on the cords.
It's not easy.
They got to transfer like data and sound.
There's like sound
energy. There's energy going through these cords.
Do you have? I imagine you have like a pretty strong fan base.
Yeah, I do. They're so great.
Has it ever been? I mean this in a positive. Has it ever been weird?
There are some weirdos.
Yeah.
There are some weirdos. There are by far more normal people who are kind and awesome, who give me fan mail or who come up and give me hugs and say hi when they see me in person, and that, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. There are some real special folk, though, out there every once in a while.
Because they feel like, in their defense, sort of, they feel like they know you.
Yes.
I mean, I do YouTube, and I put out a lot of stuff, and people... like they feel like they know, and because I go to things and I talk to things in panels or whatever, and it's hard. You don't really know a lot about them, and how can you? It's hard, but they feel like they know a lot about you because you've been in their face
Right.
for so long and stuff, so they feel like they know you.
Yeah. There have been some weird. There's a. I don't want to like tell you who they are because I don't want them to know that I know that they're there. But there have been some strange men for sure. But I just kind of like ignore those guys, send them some love, and hope they never come out here to LA. Don't ever come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't come to LA.
Yes. And there's also this weird. This is probably antagonizing the issue by saying this, but there's some sort of weird foot thing where
I'm familiar with it. Through YouTube, because it's like something like foot.
I don't understand that. I don't understand it, but I get a lot of messages. I think because maybe I didn't wear any shoes in the movie, so there's a lot of like shots of my feet. Maybe I don't know.
Are you
Super weird.
Are you thinking of like maybe capitalizing that and starting a side business or something?
I mean, so it's funny you should say that.
Let's talk about maybe
my side business. My good friend Dave and I are developing a feature film, and we were like, we need to get finish getting financing for it. And Dave's like, you should just do signed photos of your feet, like, or 10-minute Skype session with your feet. And I was like, Dave,
you should draw
real rock bottom.
Draw faces on your feet and have them have conversations with each other. I'm just trying to spitball in here. This
is good. I'm gonna take some notes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to.
Dave would be thrilled.
So
be great.
when it comes to like, okay, now I want to make this. I want this to happen. How do you like tactfully and tastefully and all that, which I'm sure you do, like kind of leverage that to get into the rooms you want to get into, whether it's crowdfunding a film or something like that. Like how do you navigate all that without being like, hey, you know me and you love me, now give me money?
Yeah, I don't have that problem, because more of my problem is I just am so shy and kind and would just like the business side is really something that I'm much better at it now, which is fantastic, and I'm really learning. We've had this film, it's called Some Girls, and we've been in development on it, for a couple of years now. And it doesn't have a huge budget, but I have realized that nobody's going to care about this more than me, and nobody's going to get it out there except for me. So I have to be brave.
That's something that I've learned. Like, nobody cares more than you. You can have 10 publicists and 10 managers. Yeah. Nobody cares more than you do.
And so what I know in my heart is that we're making this movie 100%, and there's not a chance in this world that it won't happen. So how is it going to happen? It's going to happen by Dave and I hitting the pavement and asking for people to be involved, which there's no like, hey, you know me from this. From me, it's just hey, this is a story I believe in, And I think as we continue to also make other content, which I'm doing, that it'll be easier over time.
How are you making that other content just on a like?
I just wrapped a short that I produced and co-directed and acted in, and Dave Shotwell, who is my creative partner in these things, he wrote it and co-directed it, and that was amazing. We learned so much, and I'm developing a web series written by my friend Emily Habeck, and I'm directing that and in that as well, and that's hysterical.
I should be auditioning right now for you then, right?
You should.
The whole time I should have been auditioning.
I mean, life is an audition.
I don't know, Katie.
So good. That's so good.
See, that's me not knowing what you're talking about.
That was great.
Pretty good, huh?
That was pretty good. Yeah. I totally believed it.
Yeah.
I don't even. I know,
right?
You are cast.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And guy number 19.
Yeah.
Walking by.
We have that. We have that in
I'll
episode 7.
I'll do it.
Episode 7. You're the man. Oh man, this is so good.
You guys hear that? Okay.
Yeah. So working on different things, making some music too. It's really fun.
Interesting. What's your music?
It's like a sweet singer-songwriter with kind of a country flair sort of thing.
Jenny Lewis?
I don't know who that is, but I should check her back.
Honestly, check out Jenny Lewis.
Okay.
She's in this band Rilo Kiley, and she used to be an actor, and now I think she's solo. But
Jenny
what
Lewis.
You described and your bangs, Jenny Lewis.
Okay.
Check it out.
I have to tell you something.
Right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Jenny Lewis.
I have to tell you something about these bangs. I got these bangs before I shot the short film because I was trying to figure out how I could make myself look younger in case I needed to play a younger version of myself. So I got fake bangs and tried them on, and it was like this is my new forever. They do by Revlon, Amazon, and I put them on, and I was like, oh my god, how have I not been doing this my whole life? Immediately went out and chopped my bangs off, and it has been life changing. And clearly it can't actually be the bangs. It must be like how the bangs make me feel, and therefore how I go out in the world. But it's like the world is such it's like people ask me out on dates just like crazy, and it's only because I got my bangs cut. It's insane. It's like people just like talk to me. It's like I got bangs and suddenly I don't know.
You're open. Maybe it's like you're open.
I think maybe I feel like I'm wearing a disguise, and therefore I'm less shy because I can be kind of shy.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but
how do they ask you out on the dates? I do a lot of dating kind of stuff on my YouTube and stuff like that. Like, how do they? Are they just like, hey girl, love those bangs?
Man, girl, you got some bangs.
Yeah.
There's some banter. Sometimes it's friends of friends.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like over Twitter. Like we know each other sort of. Okay. There's some banter, and then there's there's lots of different ways. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at the in-person banter, even if cause it's like I can get kind of like bantering feels safe, so it's like I'm good at banter until it gets like real, and then I get then I like get really shy.
Yeah, because then you could just be like, joke, fun, good. So what's up, girl? Like when that's how what I say.
So
I say, yo, what's up, girl?
But with that breathy voice, right? So what's up, girl?
See, I was auditioning again.
That's so good.
I was auditioning again.
I know. I'm making mental notes.
I won't let you forget it. Don't worry.
Oh man,
that's the thing about me. I'm very persistent when it comes to myself.
Mm-hmm. As you should be.
Well, I mean, I think there's something to be said that like you prove your work.
Yeah.
You follow through, and I think there's like you said, like we talked about LA casting earlier. There's a lot of things that there's a lot of big talk. They set up the Facebook page on their thing, and it's something that never exists. It never actually comes out. So you follow through, and I think that's there's a lot to be said about that.
It's so fun. Our short film, we're already submitting it to things. The web series will be released either in February or March. It's so fun. It's so fun to create. I love it. I love creating. Yeah. You want to see if there's any questions? Oh yeah.
I'll see. I mean, I asked in a couple of different places, and it's something that I would need to find. Let's see.
I can help on Twitter or something.
Let's see. Not a lot of people saying hi.
Hey guys.
Yeah, a lot of hey, hi. Hold on.
Was it hold on you or was it hold on them? Did they want us to hold on?
No. I think. Wait. Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah. Here's a bunch of comments here. And then hold on. Let me check my Snapchat.
All right.
Okay. Here we go. And let me just. Oh, there's a bunch here. Hold on.
I got one. When will you come to France? As soon as someone invites me.
Yeah.
I've never
invites
been.
us.
Both of us.
Let's go party. Yeah, we're ready.
We're a package now.
Yeah, we go together like
two peas in a pod.
Like money and money.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I wonder if this will be on video too. I know this person. Sometimes I'm afraid to open these because I keep it open and I get a lot of weird ones.
Oh.
Hey guys.
It's
Katie, Galippa Jason. And how was it filming all those Paranormal Activity movies? You are amazing and thank you.
Oh,
well,
thank
we kind
you.
of talked about that.
Yeah, we did. It was. I'll tell you. I have a little funny story though, that might answer her question. We filmed a lot the first week, clearly like around the clock, and whenever we had a break, Oren had the box set of Ali G. So Mika and I would sit on the couch and like decompress and watch just endless episodes of Ali G. And we laughed so hard and got so giggly about it and started doing the accents that Oren cut us off. He was like, "You guys cannot watch any more of that show. You're ruining the vibe of this movie."
Right? Does that take you out of it?
Yeah, it totally did. Like he was like, "This isn't as good, guys. It's because you're watching too much Ali G." So he cut us off cold turkey. We were so upset. But then when we wrapped and went home, like a week later, a box set of Ali G arrived in the mail. I was like, "Thanks, Oren, you're the man."
That's very cool.
So.
As long as you're done. Okay, let's see. Mrs. Styles 98. Let me just make sure. Wait. Oh, it's just hey.
Hey.
Just hey.
Hey.
This one is from Kinda Haley.
Hi. I was wondering if working on the Paranormal Activity movies ever made you scared about going through your own paranormal experiences, or have you had any paranormal experiences?
Great question. I haven't really had any paranormal. I totally believe that this world and this universe is infinite and endless, and there's much that cannot be explained and that we're learning every day. And so I'm very open to all sorts of things of that nature. I don't really have room in my life for the scary stuff, though. So if it's out there, I don't want to know about it. So I've never experienced that myself.
So go away, scary stuff.
Yeah,
See you later. Don't waste your time here.
Just sending you some love. Find somebody
Go
else.
to Temecula.
Temecula, it's fine.
It's go there. They love you there.
Anywhere, but not here. What was the other part? If it was scary filming it, at times Mika got way more scared. Because he had to deal with me being all like, weirded out. So he had a rougher time with that.
Did you? Because they make connections obviously. They kind of tie in different scenes. Was that that's something I probably should have asked. Was that something that kind of came reverse engineered, and they're like, oh, let's tie it in, or did they have that plan to?
You mean in the sequels tying in the first movie? No, I mean the sequels. It was like, oh, cool, we could tie the first movie in like this
because you don't see everything.
Right.
Which is very cool.
Yeah. They were smart about that.
Yeah, so smart. This is Ryan McCone TKD. Let's hope this is not something weird. I'll know in a second.
Maybe it'll be his feet.
Did you enjoy filming it?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Joyfully. Filming the first one especially was one of the most joyful things of my entire life.
See? That's so nice. Okay. This is from Ethan. Let's see what this is. Please don't be bad. He just said I'm gay.
Okay, I support that.
Yep, he just
Sending
said
you a
I'm
lot
gay.
of love.
Thank you, Ethan. Let's see, Moonstar.
Please don't.
When was your first kiss?
Oh, this is a great question.
Yeah.
My first.
It wasn't on set, was it?
It was on a stage in high school.
Okay.
I had to. I was a freshman and I was in this play called Nevermore, and I had to seduce this guy in the play, and he was played by Brandon Carroll, who was a dreamy sophomore.
Sounds it. That name is very
he was
dreamy.
he was like blonde, and he he was a baseball star, and he did theater, all these great things. He remained a dear friend of mine for a long time. So anyway, I was terrified. I'd never kissed a boy, and I would like go to the payphone every day after school and put a quarter in, and tells you how old I am, and call my best friend and be like, okay, I think today might be the rehearsal where I have to kiss Brandon. I'm super nervous, and she'd be like, okay, call me when you get home, and sure enough, I had to go in, and my teacher was like, okay, Katie, like really just go for it and really like seduce him. And I'm thinking, what, I can't seduce him? What is that even? Not even kissed a boy.
Did you have the bangs?
I had no bangs.
See?
No. See, if I had had the bangs, could have done it. And so eventually we had to change the scene to where he kisses me, even though that made no sense because I was so shy about it. So it wasn't my first like romantic kiss, but that was technically my first kiss. And Brandon said that I had to claim him as my first kiss. That was the rule. So now that I'm on a
pod, do you still love him?
Forever and ever and ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
And love never dies.
Love never dies. Love never dies.
Well, so you have a bunch of stuff that we talked about. You have stuff coming out, stuff happening. Where can we find all your stuff?
That's a great question. So the short film isn't online for the public yet, although sometime soon in the future it will be once we get kind of those things in order. You can definitely find out about it at my Twitter, at Katie Diane, or, Twitter's the way to go. Or you can go to my Instagram, Real Katie Featherston, and I'll post stuff about that. The web series, Solace for the Unloved, we will either start releasing on Valentine's Day or the first day of spring. Because it is a series of intensely dark and funny internal monologues of a woman who's single and alone. So we thought Valentine's Day or the first day of spring would be a really appropriate time to just unleash her on the world. Yeah, that, even like New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Oh, just like anything, basically any holiday, any birthday, anything.
President's Day.
Day.
Let's tie that in there. Those sales. Let's tie those sales in there.
God, the commercials. Can we talk for a minute about the commercials over the holidays and over Valentine's Day? Like, I could get through the holidays fine, but every time I turn on the TV, it's like an engagement ring. It's like snowing. And
don't turn on the TV.
Never turn on the TV.
Don't ever turn on the TV. Except let's just watch your stuff.
Right.
Then please keep.
Just watch me on.
Watch your stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, you can find me at youtube.com/Jason Horton. You could, subscribe to Friends Without Benefits, leave a comment, rate 5 stars for Katie. Give it,
guys.
SoundCloud.
Purple Hearts.
SideshowNetworks.tv is a super fun place. And thank you to Katie Featherston.
Thank you for having me. This was delightful and fun.
I was auditioning again.
I know. You are cast. I like you. You're a keeper.
We'll end on that. Thanks so much.